Now it's time for the Rob Johnson Sports Show, presented by the Legacy Maker Sports Network. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Rob Johnson Sports Show here on the Legacy Maker Sports Network YouTube and Facebook page, also on the Rob Johnson Media page as well, YouTube page. Thank you guys so much for coming on tonight. Hopefully we get some viewers. Hopefully we get some people that can share this video. I'm on my YouTube right now. I'm about to share this thing. About to let everybody know why they need to check into the Rob Johnson Sports Show here on Instagram. Doing big things right now, trying to make sure that everybody gets in tonight so we can talk about some SmackDown. Ladies and gentlemen, what happened tonight on SmackDown is pretty crazy. That's all I can say. We had a crazy SmackDown tonight. We're going to go from the top down to the bottom. We're going to start from what happened. We're going to start from everything that has gone on SmackDown tonight, which was an absolutely crazy show. There's some things that I'm going to skip over a little bit, only because of the fact that it wasn't, in my opinion, that important. But there were a lot of, things that we saw tonight that are going to have ramifications for a very long time. Again, I am Rob Johnson of the Legacy Maker Sports Network. Here's my face right here, Rob Johnson of the Legacy Maker Sports Network. And tonight's show, folks, basically is going to pertain to this. We're going to talk about Friday Night SmackDown. We're also going to get into the world of sports. We get some scores. The Lakers are playing the Grizzlies tonight, so it is going to be a lot going on this show tonight. Glad you guys are here with me. Glad that you guys are here to celebrate this occasion of the Rob Johnson Sports Show, episode 32. Just remember the Royal Rumble is going to come up soon. We're going to be doing Gold Standard Wrestling, which we'll be talking about the Royal Rumble, each match. I'm going to see if I can get a panel on here. We can talk about the Royal Rumble, and it's going to be high intensity. So let's start with SmackDown tonight and how we started things off. So everybody, on SmackDown tonight, I think they did something very good. They started out everything with this match right here between Kevin Owens and Santos Escobar. Now, whoever won this match would go on to face Logan Paul at the Royal Rumble for the United States Heavyweight Championship. Everyone knows how I feel about the United States Heavyweight Championship. Everyone knows I'm a huge fan of that title. I have that title. But I think that this match, folks, was a little bit predictable in the sense of we knew that Kevin Owens and Logan Paul had a rivalry going on. We know that these two were at a collision course at the Royal Rumble. Now, and this being Logan Paul, your current United States Heavyweight Champion. Logan Paul, the superstar, who is a social media giant at the moment. Now, getting back to Owens and Escobar, this match started out hot. Kevin Owens came out, hit the frog splash. You thought the match was going to be over quick. You thought it was going to be one of those squashes, basically. Well, Santos Escobar was able to get things in his favor. He brought his goons out, but then LWO came out. They still have beef with Santos Escobar. That's going to lead to a match next week between Santos's goons and the LWO, which I don't think it'll go anywhere, but it's still something that we have to keep an eye on. This was a high intensity match. I do not think that it was a great match overall, especially the first maybe 10, 15 minutes of it. But I would say that what happened towards the end was Escobar was able to start getting himself fired up a little more. I feel like the match turned to a really good match towards the end. So I think that the high intensity of the match and just overall what they did with the match and the flow, um, kind of, it kind of made the match a little bit more of a must see towards the end. Um, when you look at everything that went on with this match, um, for me, I think Kevin Owens continues to show that he is one of the best wrestlers in the world. Santos Escobar, I feel like, is showing that he has the potential, but he needs to get, I feel like, a little more heat before he becomes that guy. You would think that his rivalry with Rey Mysterio would have helped that, but I still think that a guy like Kevin Owens and Logan Paul is what's best for business. Plus, you have a heel versus a face. Putting a heel Logan Paul against a heel Santos Escobar made absolutely no sense whatsoever. Logan Paul was a little bit quirky on his commentary when he was sitting at the desk. I did like the line when the match was over. Of course, Kevin Owens did win the match. Um, Logan Paul said that the chances of basically of Kevin Owens beating him would be the chance of the Canucks winning the Stanley Cup, and that was a funny line. I like that. That was pretty funny. Logan Paul was talking a lot of trash, and then KO'd him basically. So that was a really big thing in my eyes when it comes to that match. That Kevin Owens was able to get a hit on Logan Paul, was able to knock him down, able to make him feel some of his frustration, which only makes this match more interesting. I think that going into the Royal Rumble, Kevin Owens, I'm not gonna say he has to have this match, but I think it would be imperative. I think it'd be important if Kevin Owens were to win a United States Championship, because it doesn't. People talk about Roman, how he does defend his belt, but Logan Paul hasn't defended the belt once. We haven't seen Logan Paul, come out and defend his title, and we know Logan Paul is a great athlete, but this is a whole different type of beast when you have to, be in WWE for a long period of time. You have to defend the title all the time, and you have to be at live shows, etc. So, what kind of champion is Logan Paul going to be? Are they going to start treating the U.S. title like they used to treat Intercontinental title? Because at least we see the Intercontinental title being defended. So, the United States title for a while there was so important. It was important. I feel like Bobby Lashley made it that just that more important. So, we'll see what happens at the Rumble, because I definitely want to see this title defended at WrestleMania. I think Kevin Owens with the title would be great. I think there are so many contenders. I mean, you look at from the LA Knight, you look at even like a guy like Butch. I think Butch and Owens could have a great match. Um, Even some of the Street Profits, those two, Montez Ford especially, against a Kevin Owens would be a great match. Even a Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles. The United States Heavyweight Championship is an important title. It's a very important title. And I just think that if you're going to keep it on Logan Paul, you have to make sure that the title still has that significance. Um, because he doesn't have the clout of Roman Reigns, where he has earned the right to just not be at a show. Roman Reigns has earned the right. Logan Paul is still a newcomer when it comes to the WWE. And I think that's important when it comes to that. Now, we go to our next segment. We talk about the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley, who I feel that they should have a big 2024, especially Bobby Lashley, because he is still legitimate in what he does. The Street Profits, I don't buy the Street Profits as tough guys. I don't buy the Street Profits as bad guys. Bobby Lashley can be a bad guy, but not the Street Profits. They're just too nice of guys. I don't look at them and think, oh, they're mean, they're bad boys. No, 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 no. And I think that Triple H and the creative team were very smart and are being very strategic on what they're doing, because if you look at it, they tried to make these guys heels, but they're not heels. They're still badasses. Do not get me wrong. The Street Profits are still badasses. The problem is that Bobby Lashley is universally loved. Bobby Lashley he's one of those guys. He's in between. He's a bad guy. He's a good guy because he's so dominant, like Brock Lesnar, that you can see him as a bad guy, but you still want to cheer for him. So when I look at the Profits and when I look at what happened tonight, when they brought back AOP, and you have a situation where you have them coming back with their former manager Paul Ellerly, and Karrion Kross, who is the leader of that group. I think that's critical because you establish that dominant heel group. Now, what is WWE going to do with AOP this time? The last time they did not use AOP the way they were supposed to use them. They have not used Karrion Kross the way they've been supposed to be using him. This is a former NXT champion. This is a guy who's supposed to be in a feud months, like, maybe what, almost a year back to the WWE Championship. So I think that they're going to use this new group to kind of springboard, if you may say, the the whole babyface turn of this group. So in my opinion, if you are WWE, you're doing the smart thing. Use these guys as a springboard for Bobby Lashley and his group, so that they can be the faces that you need them to be. Because I just don't see them as heels. Now, what do I see from this rivalry? I see some hard-hitting matches, and I also feel they need to split up the tag team championships. If you're going to make one Universal Championship, fine. But if you're not, kind of separate the titles. Have a title on SmackDown, have a title on Raw, because we have enough established tag teams where we can have tag teams on both sides. But we need to get that quick, fast, in a hurry, and that needs to happen very, very soon, because the tag team titles have kind of taken, I'm not going to say have taken a hit because of this, but we definitely need to see the tag team championships back on Raw. We need to have a split of the championships. Now, if you're going the direction of just having all titles defended on one show, I get that. I understand that. However, you look at the World Heavyweight Championship, you look at the Universal Championship, they're on different shows for a reason. You have to establish those titles on one show. So if you're going to get the Street Profits back to what you want them to be, and kind of being more of that I guess you could call it a face slash kind of a heelish type of team, because that's what we're seeing in wrestling now. We're seeing guys and gals who are faces, but they're kind of heels, and then we see heels who are kind of faces. You really don't have a lot of super heels anymore. Now you're looking at a guy like Roman Reigns; he's a super heel. You look at a guy like Drew McIntyre. I mean, he's like a heel face. You see what I'm saying? So because you really don't know what guys are going to be every week. Bobby Lashley, he's kind of that heel face. You don't really know what you're getting from guys every week. You don't know who's really the villain. Now you look at a team now like Karrion Kross and AOP. They're heels all the way. They're super heels. There is nothing face about them. They are super heels. So I definitely think that WWE needs to take this and they need to run with it. And hopefully we can get some AOP versus Street Profits matches, and then probably get some Karrion Kross and Bobby Lashley matches, because these two have definitely been facing each other on some of the circuits when they've been traveling around the country and doing house shows. So we'll go to our next match, ladies and gentlemen, and that is for the Women's World Championship between Io Sky and Io Sky. Io Sky won the match. And it was a great match between these two. And what I liked about this match the most probably is Io Sky came out. She fought hard. She was able to retain the championship in a really good match here. And the thing that really kind of got me, especially with Mia Yim, and I'm sorry I missed her name. I'm sorry about that. This was a crazy show, and I took a lot of notes and I missed her name. Sorry about that. But Mia Yim is a really good wrestler, and she brought a lot of good things to this match. However, I'm still kind of quirky on the fact that they still have the OC. Like, why is the OC still a thing? Why is the OC still a thing? Because I thought that the group came out. They came out hot. They had brought Mia Yim to the group. She was really good. But I just don't like the group anymore. AJ Styles is off doing his own thing. The group is just a group. They're just a group. It's nothing dominant. It's nothing that, scares anybody, etc. So it was a good match. Io Sky wins on her moonsault. I give the match, I'll give my ratings when I'm done with this show, with this segment tonight. But I feel like it was a really good match. But I don't see Mia Yim as a contender for the championship in the future. I just saw this match as, I'm not going to say a throwaway, but I'll say this was a match they need to have, because you're not going to put Bianca Belair in there. You're not going to put anybody else in that position because of everything. Oh, sorry about that. Turn microphone went on. Turn microphone went on. Sorry about that, folks. My microphone having technical has a little bit of technical difficulty. Sorry about that. Um, but anyway, like I was saying, Mia Yim is a really good competitor. She's a really good wrestler, but I just do not see her as one of those wrestlers who is going to make a difference going down the stretch here. So for me, I just do not look at her as a threat. Io Sky, I believe, will hold the title up until maybe Elimination Chamber. I do not see Io Sky defending this title at WrestleMania. I think they need to get, well, that's a little hard to say because Charlotte Flair is out now, so they definitely need somebody as a star. But you never know. You could have a Bianca Belair come back. You could have a Jay Cardigan come back. Her debut at the WWE. So we'll see what happens with this Women's World Championship. But I definitely think between Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber, she'll lose that title, and she will not be defending it going into WrestleMania. Now, next we had a Paul Heyman segment. Paul Heyman said that they fight that tonight. They fight for the right to get smashed by Roman Reigns. Not one man on the face's earth can beat Roman Reigns, and that was his promo. That was Paul Heyman talking about Roman Reigns and what he thought about Roman Reigns, and that's the sentiment of a lot of people. Next, we had a match between Pretty Deadly Butch and Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate gets the win in that match. Kind of a throwaway match, nothing too great, but kind of a throwaway. The main event, we had LA Knight versus Randy Orton versus AJ Styles. I'll say this: really exciting wrestling match, really exciting. I think that the three competitors did a good job of beating the living hell out of each other. I think that they did a really good job of making sure that they made everyone look good. Now, LA Knight did have a little bit of a botch in this match, which was kind of you could see it because he was supposed to knock AJ Styles out of the ring maybe the next sequence, but AJ Styles had to whisper to him, "Hey man, you gotta do this, you gotta do that." So a little bit of a botch, but LA Knight there probably was a little bit too hyped up, etc. But overall, great match between the three. I'm not an LA Knight fan, but I felt like coming in that Randy Orton and AJ Styles, would kind of make him look out of place. But LA Knight, in my opinion, did a good job in making himself look like he was still a valuable part of this match. And sorry about the graphic there, but yeah, here we go. AJ Styles, Randy Orton, and LA Knight in this match tonight in the main event. And I just feel that these three had one hell of a match. In the match, also, you had AJ Styles block the referee after, I believe. Well, first of all, AJ Styles hit a 450 on from the rope on LA Knight. LA Knight kicked out. All right. LA Knight was also bleeding this match, so WWE is bringing blood back, which is something that we're getting used to. Um, Randy Orton hit a crazy RKO on a phenomenal forearm attempt by AJ Styles. LA Knight dragged the referee out the match. Same thing happened when LA Knight hit the BFT, blunt force trauma on Randy Orton. AJ Styles stopped the referee. So exciting match altogether. These guys put on an instant classic in this match. Now, there's something that happened probably with maybe 6 minutes left in this match, and that was this. This man, the head of the table, your WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion, Roman Reigns, along with the Bloodline, came down to the ring, and they put a number. When I tell you they put a number on all three of these competitors. Let me tell you like this, folks. Randy Orton, AJ Styles, LA Knight, they got beat down. The Bloodline beat them down. Roman Reigns, Solo Sequoia, um, Jimmy Uso, absolutely dominated. They came out. Roman Reigns was hitting Superman punches. He was hitting spears. He was looking at Nick Aldis's face and basically like, look, man, I own this company. I own this show, which is SmackDown. It was just absolutely hot. Nick Aldis was looking confused, like he didn't know what to do. He was trying to get a hold of Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman was like, don't touch me, don't touch me. And then it came. And then the shock of the night, and probably going to be the most talked about thing in the next couple of days. You thought it was all about The Rock, and they were very strategic because, Roman Reigns, when he was asked to begin the show about The Rock, he laughed it off, which makes you think that this is going to be something that's going to be addressed again very soon. But tonight they wanted to focus on the Royal Rumble. And at the Royal Rumble, Nick Aldis whispered in the ear of Paul Heyman and said, congratulations, this is now going to be a four-way for the WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Randy Orton, LA Knight, AJ Styles against Roman Reigns, a four-way for the Universal Heavyweight Championship at the Royal Rumble. Now, when we get to the preview show for the Royal Rumble, we are going to talk about this match more in depth. But what does this mean? What does this mean for the title of Roman Reigns? If you ask me, just from my observational standpoint, there's a good chance that Roman Reigns will not be pinned at the Royal Rumble. Somebody else will be pinned. Could The Rock still involve himself in that match? We don't know. There's so many possibilities. There are so many angles that could go here. And the Royal Rumble just got even hotter than it was already going to be hot in Florida. And quite honestly, folks, when you look at tonight, I feel like Roman Reigns even more stated his claim as being the best in the company. He dominated. The Bloodline dominated. And you just have to ask yourself, when will he face The Rock? And his defiance of The Rock, his laughter of The Rock, makes you feel that he doesn't respect The Rock. He knows that he's the head of the table. So just being that defiant character, being that defiant family member, he feels that he is the best. End of story. And if he retains the title at Royal Rumble, many people, and Paul Heyman said something tonight that was very interesting. He dropped the main event of WrestleMania. Why would he say that? Because I feel that there will be a main event of WrestleMania involving Roman Reigns and The Rock. And I understand. And he even said something about Cody talking about his damn story. Cody Rhodes in this story, I get it, folks. You're very enticed and you like his story and you want to say Cody finished the story. But here's my question to you folks. What happens when Cody finishes the story? What happens next? Because a lot of you out there don't really understand creative writing. You don't understand plans. You don't understand how things have to work. Sometimes you want something so bad and you get it. But what happens after? You want that car so bad. What happens after you get it? You got to pay payments on it. If you're paying payments, you got to pay insurance, etc. Little kids, they want that toy so bad. When they get it, what do they do after? Roman Reigns has gotten the Universal Heavyweight Championship. And he got it at SummerSlam back, 3 years ago? Almost 4 years ago? And he's done nothing but dominate. He's done nothing but make money for the company. He's made the company look great. What is Cody Rhodes going to do when he gets a title? Because for me, folks, Cody Rhodes doesn't need a title. Cody Rhodes is good. He's good without the title because this whole story thing, kind of reminds me of the Boston Red Sox. Being the lovable losers, being the lovable winners. We want you guys to win so bad. You win, and what happens after that? It's over. It's over with. Nobody really gravitates to you anymore. People gravitate towards Roman Reigns, but Roman Reigns is better than Cody Rhodes. Roman Reigns didn't have to leave WWE. He stayed even during hard times, and guess what he did? He still was the man. Cody Rhodes had to go to AEW to build himself up. He was a Stardust. He was a Dashing. And now he's the man, but he had to leave because he wasn't the man at first. He had to learn how to be the man. Roman Reigns went through the hard times and learned how to be the man. Roman Reigns did not tuck his tail and leave WWE. He didn't have to. He didn't have to do what CM Punk did. He didn't have to do what these other guys did. He didn't have to be a Drew McIntyre, leave and have to come back. Roman Reigns is the consummate dominant professional in this industry. And that's what I'm saying. What's best for business is for Roman to keep the title. Many of you don't like that. But it's best for business for Roman to keep the title. And I think tonight his dominant performance showed that he is the best in the business. I think a guy like Randy Orton, maybe down the line, if he wants to win the World Heavyweight Championship, great. The Universal Championship, great. But Randy Orton doesn't need that title. AJ Styles doesn't need that title. This LA Knight, in my opinion, still doesn't deserve to be a World Heavyweight Champion. If he wants to be a United States Champion, great. Even AJ Styles, he's good enough to carry that U.S. title and make it look great. But AJ Styles doesn't need that Universal Championship to make him look great. I'd much rather see AJ Styles go to Monday Night Raw again and win that World Heavyweight Championship, because I think he could carry that World Heavyweight Championship better than Seth Rollins is. Because, Seth Rollins, the working man champion, all that crap. But it's been a really mediocre championship run, in my opinion. It's been okay. The best thing about Seth Rollins is the whatever. But Roman Reigns is nothing but Hulk Hogan. That's who he is now. He's like Hulk Hogan. And I think that the best time for Cody Rhodes to do something as far as winning the World Universal Championship would be, in my opinion. It's just my opinion. And I said this last year. I believe Cody Rhodes should go win the Money in the Bank, terrorize Roman Reigns for a year, and then finally win the championship. That's just my opinion. I think that the Money in the Bank could get a big boost. It could be one of those things where Roman Reigns, and not just in the ring, they could be creative. He could chase him around the country when he's not in the ring, stuff like that. It could be one of those things that Cody Rhodes could really make this thing interesting. But again, what happens after he wins? That's the question I ask you all. He finishes the story. We've been hearing about this damn story for almost 3 years now. What is he going to do once he finishes the damn story? You all let me know what you think Cody Rhodes is going to do once he finishes the story. All right, folks, we're coming up on 10:40 p.m. Eastern here. We're going to switch gears here, and we're going to talk about some other sports. Let's get a quick update on the NBA. The NBA, National Basketball Association. Let's get a look at some of the live games we have going on right now. Well, first we'll give you guys the some of the finals that we have. So tonight we had the Clippers beat the Pelicans 111-95. We had the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are still first in the West, beat the Houston Rockets 122-95. We had the Brooklyn Nets beat the Oklahoma City Thunder 124-115. Even though Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had 34 points. The Knicks absolutely destroyed the 76ers 128-92. The Cleveland Cavaliers defeated the lonely Washington Wizards 114-90. The Indiana Pacers put up 150 points against the Atlanta Hawks, 150-116. Tyrese Halliburton only had 10 points in this game. He only had 10 points, and they still scored 150. That, my friends, is nuts. The Boston Celtics defeated the Utah Jazz 126-97. Early in the second quarter, this is not good. We have the Golden State Warriors tied with the Detroit Pistons. Wow. That's not good. Tied with the Detroit Pistons at 24. Let's hope that the Warriors can beat the Pistons. They lose to the Pistons, they're going to have some issues. Sacramento Kings 36-27 over the Toronto Raptors. The Phoenix Suns are beating up on the Miami Heat 89-71. Looks like we have Booker playing, but Booker and is Kevin Durant playing tonight? Let's see if Durant is playing tonight. Durant is out, and Durant is out. Gordon is out. Who else do we have out? I think is Bradley Beal playing. Bradley Beal is playing. He has 20 points. So the Phoenix Suns are playing without Kevin Durant tonight, but they lead the Miami Heat 89-71. The Denver Nuggets are beating up on the Orlando Magic 91-83. The Dallas Mavericks lead the Portland Trail Blazers 129-98. That matchup is almost over with. Some other finals, we had the Bulls beating the Hornets 104-91. Right now, live in Los Angeles, we have the Los Angeles Lakers in the first quarter beating the Memphis Grizzlies 36-27. LeBron James has 14 points in the first freaking quarter. This guy is 39 years old. The Lakers are 5 of 7 from three-point land, 3 of 3 from the free throw line. And right now, they have 14 points in the paint. Again, LeBron with 14 points in the first quarter in Los Angeles. Let's get to some NHL. Let's get to some NHL as we talk about some NHL. We have Anaheim, who is currently leading Winnipeg 1-0. The Carolina Hurricanes absolutely destroyed the Washington Capitals tonight by a score of, let me get this graphic in here for you guys, who have dominated them 6-2. Let me get this graphic in here for you guys real quick. I had one more graphic. Give me 1 second. As we get this next graphic in here, if I can get it, hopefully I can get it. There we go. Again, the New Jersey Devils beat the Chicago Blackhawks 4-2. So those are your finals from the NHL tonight. Let's get into some NCAA basketball, both men and women. Let me switch over to this. There we go, to NCAA basketball for you. The Purdue Boilermakers lead the number 9 Illinois fighting Illini 81-73. That has 1 minute and 42 seconds left in the second. The Connecticut Huskies defeated the Butler Bulldogs 88-81. Let's get to some of the women's scores. Utah is leading Arizona State 58-41. UCLA is leading Oregon. The number 2 ranked UCLA Lady Bruins 35-15. Oregon State right now is up on the number 9 USC Lady Trojans in the second, 27-23. Washington State leads number 8 Stanford 35-34 at the half. Cal is leading Washington 31-20. Caitlin Clark with 29 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, triple-double as the Iowa Hawkeyes go to Jersey and beat the Rutgers Lady Scarlet Knights 103-69. Definitely at the same program they were 10, 15 years ago. The Ohio State Lady Buckeyes defeat Northwestern 90-60. Colorado survives, and I mean survives, at Arizona 75-74. So those were your scores for the NCAA women's basketball and men's as well. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow you can catch me. I will be doing Ram Talk. I would say the game's at 4. I will not be able to attend the game. However, I will be doing Ram Talk probably around, I would say possibly at 3 o'clock. So I'll be doing Ram Talk tomorrow at 3 o'clock. You can also catch the Rob Johnson Sports Show tomorrow night, episode 33 at 10 p.m. I will be talking sports, talking about the NFL games. In fact, I believe, and if I'm not mistaken, folks, if I actually look at the schedule, if we go back here, tomorrow, which is January 6th, we've got a lot of big things going on. Of course, as you know, I'm going to be doing Ram Talk. We have VCU against George Washington. George Washington 11-3, looking to come in and beat the Rams, who are 8-6 on the season. But then tomorrow we have Nashville against Dallas, 2 really good teams. Really, really good teams. Dallas 22-10-5, and Nashville is 21-17-1. Tomorrow we have Pittsburgh against Baltimore, so we will be talking about that game, breaking that game down. You saw that I talked sports last night with the sports judge. And then you have the Colts against the Texans at 8:15. So by the time we come over here at 10 o'clock, folks, that will still be a game we'll be talking about. And we will be viewing that game a little bit from the couch as well. Tomorrow we have Pacers and Celtics, Knicks and Wizards, Jazz and Sixers. Then we have Milwaukee and Houston. In the NHL, we have Calgary and Philadelphia. Florida against Colorado, which will be a very good game between two very good damn teams in NHL, Florida Panthers and Colorado Avalanche. Buffalo against Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay against Boston. That should be a really good game between two perennial powers. Toronto against the Sharks. That should be a decent game. The Rangers against the Canadiens. Rangers should take that game. The Rangers are playing some really good hockey. The Canucks against the New Jersey Devils. That should be a good game. Minnesota against Columbus. That should be a decent game as well. Ottawa and Edmonton. We'll see how that game goes between those teams. A little bit of a struggle going on. The Islanders, against the Vegas Golden Knights. And then as far as college basketball tomorrow, on the men's circuit, we have Mississippi State, South Carolina, Rutgers against Iowa, Pittsburgh against Louisville, LaSalle against Fordham from A10 action, Marquette against Seton Hall. We'll see if Marquette can avoid getting upset on the road. DePaul, Georgetown, Kentucky against Florida, which used to be one of the crazy marquee games, but Florida 10-3, not ranked, but they could be ranked if they beat the number 6 Wildcats tomorrow. Georgia, Missouri, St. John's against Villanova. That's still a very important game for St. John's. Both teams are 10-4 in the Big East, so St. John's needs that game at Nova tomorrow. Auburn against Arkansas. Auburn has to get this win. Arkansas can possibly get ranked if they win this game. St. Louis against George Mason. Two very critical matchup in A10. Mason right now is first in the A10. They can get that win against St. Louis. That would be huge for them. West Virginia at Houston. That should be a critical game. West Virginia is not doing well this season, but Houston is 13-0. They could go 14-0. Legacy Maker Sports Network. We cover Virginia. They play NC State. Huge game. Virginia is 11-3. NC State is 10-3. So that is a huge game. TCU 11-2 could go into Lawrence and upset Kansas. I think Kansas will win, but you got to watch out for TCU. Tulane against North Texas. Providence against Creighton. Miami against Wake Forest. Miami not ranked, but still 11-2. Nebraska against Wisconsin. James Madison going to Southern Miss. James Madison is 14-0. Keep that in mind. Baylor against Oklahoma State. 18th ranked Baylor. But always remember this. Oklahoma State, even though they're 8-5, you go down to Oklahoma State, it's always tough. I don't care what their record is. University of Texas San Antonio against Rice. Alabama against Vanderbilt. Alabama's 8-5. They cannot afford to go to Vanderbilt and lose to a 5-18. If they want to keep their hopes alive of getting that large bid, these are games they have to win. St. Bonaventure, a very hot A10 team, 10-3. They just beat BC on the road. They go to Richmond. You have got to be focused if you're Richmond. This could mean so much for you if you could beat the third-ranked team in the A10. Boston College against Georgia Tech, two ACC teams of pride. Boston College 9-4, Georgia Tech 8-5. I'm going to give this to I think Georgia Tech can get this at home. I really think they can get that at home. Florida Atlantic against Charlotte. Florida Atlantic 11-3. I think they beat Charlotte on the road. Virginia Tech, Florida State. Two programs that are kind of struggling a little bit, even though Tech is 9-4. You're going to Tallahassee. You got to be focused. You got to go in there. You got to beat these guys up. You got to win this game early so that you don't let that Florida State crowd get to you. Duquesne against Loyola Chicago, two A10 teams. Both teams 9 wins on the season. USC, Stanford, Oregon State, Washington, Iowa State against Oklahoma, and then a critical game right here. You have you have Ole Miss against Tennessee. Both teams very good. I think that Ole Miss is ranked 22nd in the nation. They're 13-0 against a 5th-ranked Tennessee team who's 10-3. So basically, I feel that if you are Ole Miss, you go in, you beat Tennessee, you should be top 15, possibly top 10 next week, easily. Notre Dame against Duke. We know historically when Duke goes to Notre Dame, they struggle at times. But if you're Duke, you can't lose this game. No way. Colorado against Arizona State, Ohio State against Indiana. This is a critical game out of the Big Ten. You have two teams who are not ranked. This for Indiana. If you can beat Ohio State, you can put yourself in that bubble, in my opinion. Texas Tech against Texas, LSU, Texas A&M, Colorado State against Utah State, San Diego against Gonzaga, who's not playing Gonzaga type basketball this year. They're 10-4, second in the West Coast, but I think they'll get themselves together soon. Oregon, Washington State, California, UCLA, Cincinnati, BYU. These are all games tomorrow. On the women's side, Little Chicago, Dayton, St. Louis against Massachusetts. Both teams struggling out of the A10. You've got Bonaventure against Rhode Island. Rhode Island 5-10-5. Not surprised. They're a very good basketball team. Cincinnati, Oklahoma. Then you have Kansas State, UCF. Fordham against LaSalle. Both teams struggling mightily. Texas, West Virginia. That's a top 10 Texas team against a number 24 West Virginia team. Should be a really good game. Seton Hall, Butler. Temple against Tulsa. Kansas, Texas Tech. Xavier, Marquette. South Florida, Tulane. Houston against a number 6 Baylor. Wichita State against UTSA. East Carolina against Memphis. Creighton against DePaul. You have Purdue against Maryland. Oklahoma State against a ranked TCU team, number 23 in the nation. Iowa, BYU, and then finally you have St. John's against Providence. Both teams 8-7. Both teams need to get that win tomorrow. Critical game. So there you go, guys. There goes your NBA lineup, your NFL lineup, and your college basketball for men and women. Ladies and gentlemen, I will see you guys tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern. We will be live. We will be live during the Houston Texans and the Indianapolis Colts. We will be doing play-by-play. We'll be talking about that game, and I cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow night. Until then, this has been the Rob Johnson Sports Show, episode 32. I will see you all tomorrow night at 10 p.m. for episode 33 of the Rob Johnson Sports Show, here live on the Legacy Maker Sports Network and the Rob Johnson Media YouTube page. Legacy Maker YouTube, Legacy Maker Facebook. You all have a great night. Be safe tomorrow with those winter storms, and I will see you all later.